Hey parents, happy Teenager Tuesday! Last week with me and Megan going through Lost in Translation, communication between adult and teenager, middle schooler, high schooler. Why is it difficult before? Check out week 1, and then some thoughts and tips that we've had for the last 2 weeks. And we have a big tip that we've talked about before in many different ways, which today is all about this one tip, which is parent towards relationship. As best as you can, parent towards relationship. Andy Stanley, pastor, author, he said often, he says, I don't want to raise well-behaved kids who can't wait to get out of my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to just focus so much on behavior that they're like, once they can't wait to go and do their own thing. He said, I want my parenting to establish a relationship so that my kids want to be with me and their mom when they don't have to. Like, they don't have to just, I got to go home for the Christmas, I'm going with my family. But it's like they want to be together, they want to vacation together. And what we have are 8 tips. Some of them we'll go quickly through. Others we're going to spend more time on. 8 tips on parenting towards relationship. Did I say Meg? Did I say that
you said, yeah.
Okay.
You said we're here together again.
I'm Will, and with me is Meg. We both work at Hope Fellowship. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
And this is applicable, helpful to anyone who doesn't go to our church. Feel free to share it. All right, number 1, parent towards a relationship. Number 1, have common interest. Have common interest. What is the thing that you do together? Have a thing that serves as a connection, or have multiple things that serves as a connection point. And we've talked about that in earlier stuff, but maybe you haven't thought through that through a lens of, I want to have a common interest with them because this helps develop a relationship as they age into their adult years. Number 2, don't stop all failures, but be there through all of them.
That's good.
We are unable to create perfect behavior and create perfect outcomes. However, we can be there with them and through all of their failures and teach them along the way, but also just to be there with them and for them and be there for their first breakup. My heart was shattered by it. I hope my daughters don't date until they're like 29. But
good luck with that.
But if they do, and probably when they do, can I completely stop them from dating? Yeah, maybe kind of with a rule, but I can't stop them from liking a boy and that boy crushing their little beautiful heart. Sure. And I can be there with them through all of that difficulty. So we can't stop all failures, but we can be with them through all of them. Number 3.
All right, number 3 is to show them trust. And that is actually something that my daughter and I were just talking about. So teens, they want to be taken seriously. They want to know that we trust them. And so we have to find ways to show that to them. We have to also be willing to let them try things that we sometimes aren't sure how it's going to go. That's kind of one of the things that my daughter gets frustrated with, is when she feels like I'm not letting her do more as she gets older, that kind of thing. So we have to remember that they are trying to gain their independence during this time and that they have to learn how to handle it. So it's our job as parents to help them figure that out, because if we don't trust them with anything and then they suddenly move out, they're not going to know how to handle life. So, one thing with where we're at, my daughter's 14. She just started high school, and it is a big jump between middle school and high school in a lot of ways. So we're trying to give her a lot more responsibility in regards to knowing what her homework is that needs to get done and not having to check on that, and getting done what she needs to get done, especially in the evenings, and getting herself the sleep that she needs and getting up in the morning and all that, just giving her more of that responsibility. And she has done really well with it so far. And I think you can tell that we've had a lot less fights, not just because she's getting more of what she wants, but I think because it means a lot to her that we are letting her do that. Yeah. So you can tell that it has meant a lot to her. That also means, which sometimes is hard, probably especially for moms, if I had to guess, that we have to be willing to give up some of the control that we've had. We've been so used to being in charge of everything that they eat, everything that they wear, and we have to gradually be able to let go of some of those things, and even knowing that they might mess up sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of parenting books that talks about adjusting your parenting by phase, and it seems so hard to just flip a switch and be like, oh, this is the phase that
Right.
we're in now. Oh, I need
It
to
is
change.
hard.
You know, like that's difficult. But, we kind of talked about like failure and trust at the same time right there.
Yeah.
Kind of, well, back to back, 2
Yeah.
and 3. Matthew Jacobson, which I don't know too much about him, honestly, but I love this quote. He said, behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first. Like, do we believe that maybe they won't get it right now, but they can get it right in the long run if we let them work on it now, which is not always fun.
Yeah.
Because they
They're
will
smart.
fail.
They can tell what you're thinking
Yeah. Yeah.
most of the time.
Number 4, give them undivided attention. I struggle with this now. My kids are very little, but
Yeah.
listening with your whole face is this quote from a Tim Elmore book, Gen Z Unfiltered, where this like mom was interacting with her kids but she was on her phone at the same time that she was interacting, or the TV was on. And then her young, probably 4 or 5-year-old grabbed both cheeks, turned it towards the toddler or whatever, and said, "Mom, when I talk, you have to listen with your whole face." It's like, do we listen with our face, or are we dividing our attention? Because we're used to this multitask. I'll work. Let me open Instagram for a second, and I'm back to work. And like, when really if we're paying attention wholeheartedly to our teenagers, it will mean more to them because we're not divided. They're not just a thing that we're doing at this time. They're the thing that we're doing at this time. And are we doing that? You know, are we uniting our attention?
Yeah.
Focusing is probably a better word there. Yeah. But do you have anything to add with that, Meg?
I think that one of the challenges is that, teenagers are kind of notorious for like, you're kind of walking on eggshells around them sometimes because you don't know, if they had a bad day at school because they probably didn't tell you, or if they're just really tired or stressed and they have a lot of schoolwork going on or whatever. So sometimes it's kind of like a minefield almost, and you're trying to like tiptoe around and figure out like when is the right time to have this conversation. So a lot of it is, I think, just trial and error of finding a good time, and when you can tell it is a good time, like you said, just really taking the opportunity to stop doing everything else and give them your full attention.
Yeah, that's good. Number 5. Oh, we got to move quicker here. Okay, number 5.
Okay. Number 5 is to discipline, not control. So that includes trying to set expectations instead of rules when you can. And this one I liked. It says, act shocked when they disobey.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm probably not very good at that, but that's...
Yeah, because, oh my gosh, this isn't like you. Okay, hold on. Okay, I have to think about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, got that from a parenting book, actually.
Yeah.
Parenting Getting It Right by Andy and Sandra Stanley.
Wow. And then this one goes back to the quote from the beginning of this episode about the discipline is about teaching and correcting wrongdoings. Controlling is, controlling your teen. So we're not trying to just control them and make them into this perfect, well-behaved person. We're trying to have a relationship with them as they change and grow, and help them learn how to be a healthy adult. And that's more important, the relationship. And the learning that they need to do, not just getting them to always do the right thing. And along with that, I used to work with teenagers at a place, and that sounded weird, at a place. Of course it was a place. That's where I worked. But I worked with teenagers, and one of the things that we always said was relationship over rules. And it goes along with the same thing, that especially when you're in one of those times where you're like, how hard do I need to come down on this? Because sometimes you know for sure, like this was a clear expectation and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not sure, like, is this one of those times to really come down at it or not? So we would say to try to remember always relationship over rules and grace over legalism, because we would rather have them remembering us giving them grace than just being concerned about their behavior all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Which goes back to what we talked about last episode, I think, about the thermometer versus thermostat. Like, even in that, we can be honest while also showing grace in our honesty with consequences, but, not lashing out, Yeah, no, that's good. Number six, a good just phrase to use is going forward, let's ... You're setting up the next conversation. You're kind of closing the first and setting up the next. Like, hey, going forward, let's do this with our communication. Hey, going forward, when you do that, let's just know this will be the result. Like you're setting an expectation moving forward, and it just sets up the relationship better because then they know a little bit more of what to expect in those conversations.
Yep.
No. Number 7.
All right, number 7 is to control your emotions. It can be easy for us to have our temper flare, especially if our teenager's being rude or disrespectful or not doing what we had asked them to do. But just remembering that we're the adult. I think we said that in the last episode, and also remembering what we talked about with the process that they're going through of learning and being able to control their emotions. They're not fully there yet.
Yeah.
Taking a deep breath before responding. I have had to walk away before because I'm so frustrated that I know it's not going to go well if I don't. So I have had to kind of walk away and take some time. I've also learned how much it can help to give them the time and space that they need to calm down instead of trying to force them to have a conversation right in the moment. It does not go well if they're not ready. So there might be some times where you can't wait, but overall, it has really helped in our family if we kind of take some space for everyone to calm down before we do that.
Yeah.
Something that I try to think about is that when I respond to my daughter specifically right now, every response that I make is going to make her either more likely or less likely to share with me the next time.
Oh, very true.
So if I handle it well and she feels good about it, she's going to be more likely to come to me. If I blow up or make the face that she doesn't like, something like that, she's going to be like, see, this is why I never tell you anything, which is something that she has said before. So just doing that, and then also in that, like being willing to apologize when I have not handled it well, and being willing to admit that I don't always know.
Yeah, and
the right
apologize
thing.
like, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Number eight is have a lot of rites of passage. Another way of saying that is having milestone moments, which we will talk about next week. Hopefully this has been helpful, helping you communicate, or reminders about ways to communicate and connect with your students, your middle schooler, your high schooler, because you will always be the biggest influence in their life and from their life and for their life. So hopefully this is helpful. If there's anything we can ever do for you, feel free to reach out. As for now, just remember, you can do this. You can do this. You can fight through the awkwardness or the frustrations or whatever. You can make that connection with your teenager. You can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we. We'll see you next week.